Alrighty then, Happy New Year, everybody. We are going to talk about the A.O.C, one of the most important lessons, I think. Well, maybe not the most important, but this is extremely important in my opinion. I'm going to show you guys the A.O.C. This has been a game changer for me when determining hard days. So if you had a tough day today is the second day of 2025, January 2nd. Give me a moment here. I'm pulling up. Here, I'll just show you what I'm looking at. This, well, you know, hindsight being 2020, did you notice you're seeing a lot of these alerts in the room? Now, some people don't even know this exists. It's, you know, some people did not see when we were talking about this. This is extremely important. If you see the potential A.O.C. detected on NQ, doesn't matter on which one. We've got this going across all four of the correlated instruments on the NERD, N-E-R-D, NASDAQ, ES, RTY, and the Dow. Let's go to today. What we can see in hindsight, obviously, there are a bunch. Let's go back to the morning, though, where this alert began to show us that today was going to be a difficult day. Here's 8:30 this morning, and boom, right here at 9 a.m., the first set of warnings here that we had the A.O.C. going on. What is that? That is the alpha omega clustering, not to be confused with some of the other AO names. This is the A.O.C. and there is an alert. This is only available in the premium member section. So in premium member chat, you need to have a window open to this section if you want to see this, or you should be checking this on occasion during the daytime, or, you know, figure out how you want to put this. Maybe you have this open on your phone or your tablet, something, so you see when this occurs. And it was very clear when we started seeing it here at the open, 9:30 to 10 a.m. You saw A.O.C. detected. The clustering was detected. Now, if you've watched my videos on the live streams, you know that this is the type of day that is fine. Well, we have a detection now that can literally tell me when those tough days have occurred. I'll be doing just fine, like absolutely crushing it in the markets, doing really well. Then all of a sudden in the past, now this doesn't happen to me anymore. Like you'll notice, like when, I mean, look at my numbers, look at the live streams. I am putting up some serious numbers. Really excited about my stats. I'm about to knock on wood here. Hopefully we carry it on into 2025, but it is not luck. And this is particularly a major game changer for me. These used to catch me off guard. The A.O.C. Now, the A.O.C. was something that we discovered, okay? To, how do I say this? Have you ever had those days where you're just like, oh man, today it just kept going in a direction? Let's pull up the 89 to give you an example of what this is. Okay, so here is today on the highest time frame, 89. This is pretty much the entire day right here. You can obviously tell it had a downward sweep to it. I'm going to narrow this up a little bit here. So we had a kind of came down, kind of came up, then down, little up, down, up, and then down. And remember, these are 89 ticks a piece on the 89 range. So big time frame. Now, middle of the day, we had the shift, right? Now, what have I told you guys? When does that shift often occur? It occurs in the beast mode hour. There it is. About 12 o'clock, 12:40-ish, I think, when we started to get the change in direction. This is where things got really tricky. Look at this. That is a hard little area, and then we just chuck, and then kind of just end up right there. That is a difficult spot if you're playing into the afternoon. The morning, probably a little bit easier. However, even easier if you have noticed and found the A.O.C. detection on the premium member chat. The premium member chat says the clustering is here. So what does that mean? It means I'm looking for a continuation grinder. Be careful of trying to reverse plays. And sure enough, the one play, this is a relatively easy 940 to 950 reversal off the 89s. Look at that at 945. Perfect pivot point. Boom. Up for 3 bars. Wow, that's amazing. So those of you who played the 940 to 950 reversal time, you guys got a killer trade to the long side there at the 940 to 950. Classic. Now, after that though, remember, the clustering should have told you because of the alerts that came into the room. Be careful. A.O.C. on the menu today. Now, again, I probably need to change some of this. I think it's a little too spammy in the chat. For the risk disclosure, I think it's coming up a little bit too often, but we'll pull that out. Okay, so we had one the biggest one was at 9:30. The biggest game changer right here. 9:30. Then at 10. telling you, we've got clustering coming in, and you can see this. Go to your chart. Look at the A.O.C. clusterings there on the chart. I'll try to pull those up here at the end so you can see the charts themselves, but the warnings were here. This is a day to sit out. Listen, I'm going to put this on the boards. There is nothing wrong with sitting out. If you're going to choose a day to sit out, this is the type of day. Okay? But you have to answer this for yourself. Do you want to sit out that day? Or if you have seen the A.O.C. coming in the chat, have you practiced enough of these days to feel confident enough to take those? But you need to be very cautious. That C at the very end, we might need to change that to A.O. cautious, okay? But I have been saying it. If you have been participating in our live streams, but hey, I'm gonna finger wag at some of you guys who you don't come and you're like, well, I got the tools, I don't really need the live streams. That's probably true. I don't think you necessarily do need me to handhold you, but I think you need to keep up with some of the stuff that we are talking about there, because I have been over these important new topics a lot there in the live streams, and this is nothing to be overlooked. That's why I want to make this video here today. Sorry I haven't made one already. It's the beginning of the year here, so I'm going to get kind of warmed up and start putting some of those out. We've got some new video content types. If you notice, we've got some really quick, short videos to the point for some of our settings, but this is one that I want you guys to pay attention to on the A.O.C. Good day to sit out, or, go back and practice some of these A.O.C. days. Look how many more were showing up later here today. If you had a hard time today, do not be dismayed. This is why, in my opinion, this was going to be trickier. These are plays where the normal, typical, like, oh, it's overdone, we're going to pull back the other way, just maybe doesn't happen on days like this. Okay, now there were some really great opportunities. I'm here looking on the YM, but if you're playing NQ, particularly NQ is going to be a very, very tricky and difficult day. And that actually carries through onto the other groups in the nerds. While it happens on NASDAQ, you'll notice all these say NQ, 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 but if you've been paying attention, go back to my rules and you know that it doesn't matter which one of the nerds it shows up on. If it shows up on any of them, it applies to all of them. Write that one down. If it happens on any of them, it applies to all of them. All of them are going to be trickier. So that's the day where you ride the grind. Okay, if you're going to play, this is the trigger that says, okay, so first, that's it. We are going to ride the grind. How to do that? Find the grind. What direction are we grinding in? It's going to be a slow direction. What's the direction of the slow move? Okay, go in that direction and play in that direction. Stay on that side. Now, one of my favorite ways to play this is I will go to the MACVU, right? And I will look for the first shift point from red to green or green to red. Either way, doesn't matter. As soon as we get the shift, I want to play in that direction as soon as we make that shift, and then I will stay on that side. Let me give you an example of how you would do that. Let's come back up here to 9 a.m. today on the MACV Ultimate. Let's see, is this today? That's 2. Yeah, we had a bunch of activity today. And get some timestamps. That's 12. So let's go to the 10 a.m. scenario there. Yeah, there's a good example here. So we have, let's say that we're up here at 10 a.m. We've already seen that, okay, we've got trouble, right? We got the alert at 10 a.m. that the A.O.C. is on. So I want to look for the shift from one side to the other. Okay, so this one was here at 9:40. We could have done this one from red to green, stayed to the green side, which carried you up on that first move that we showed on the 89 earlier. That was your 9:40 to 9:50 move up right here. But then we took the shift down, right? After that shift, now I want to stay on that side until that shifts again. If it shifts, and again, this is... I'd like you guys to see some of my live streams where I'm doing this in real time. or just sit these days out. I am telling you, if you don't want to have to fart around with this stuff, these are the days. You see that AOC clustering thing show up like this, just go, all right, nope, I'm out. Go do something else that day. Now, I think you should practice these, like take them off in sim, or do some sim practice that day if you don't have other things to do. Download the market replay of this day, put it in a little folder for yourself to say, this is an AOC day that I need to practice. Stick in a folder, go and practice these types of days, because otherwise you are just going to give money away for no reason. However, I like the Mac VU shift, so I will wait. You notice how this stayed green the whole time, so no matter what, like you're over here thinking, oh, I'm gonna get that shift turned back, but no, she just stayed on that green side, stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed, back and forth, stay. So how many times on any one of these, any place of you went strong buy, it comes back to here, some place set up, boom, you just keep going, boom, keep going to the long side, and that went 400 or 500 ticks to the upside. But then here comes the shift, right? We saw the 10 a.m. that gave, hey, we've got AO clustering happening. You're like, let's pull the 10 a.m. one. You had seen it at 9:30, so you already knew right here, 9:30. You already knew this morning, danger. Okay, got it here. Now we got another one at 10 a.m., another pivotal point of the day. Boom, we got clustering, guys. Look out. Here we go. Now take the shift. Where's the shift? Right here. We go from green to red. Boom. Now every play set up, I'm looking to get to the red side, right? Going red. Now we pop up to green. This is a spot where it's like, oh shoot, like do I go back to that side? This is what I mean by this is a hard day to play. I will come back, and as soon as we pop into that shift color, I'm going to stay on that side. I think the major shift turn came at 10:30. Yeah, here is the major shift right here. Coming in 10:30, and we just stay on that side again. Basically the same thing we saw from that morning. Do you see how it never kind of went back to that side again? These are the things you have to be worried about if you're going to be sitting there playing for any longer than that hour, which is again why I tell you guys, look, come into the markets, play for the hour, and get in and get out, because when the market starts to shift, you have to be very, very good. You have to have learned the system well. You know, I really just want to make sure. I saw some people who struggled today, and it's right here. It was right here the whole time. It was staring you in the face. So I'd like you guys to tell me there in the comments down below, did you see the A.O.C? Did you not know about it? Kind of tell me, like, did you know about it, but you missed it? Did you not know about it? Tell me down in the comments. If is this the first time you've ever heard me talk about the A.O.C? And I'm going to give you the finger wag because you hadn't been hanging out in our live streams, because I have talked about it numerous times now, especially over the last few months, ever since I have discovered that this keeps me out of those trouble days, or I'll take my losses quickly on scenarios where I've got that type of day showing up. Boom, we get that red side shift, and there we go. It just stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed all the way. Oh, no, we came back up one time. There was a breather. And this is why I tell you guys, I like to take the color shift, because we come up, it fakes everybody out, and look, it's literally a green rover, right? Although it went all the way to this. I technically call a green rover when it stops right here. This one went a little bit farther, but I mean, total pyramid back to the sell side. And it's just going to be, you see one of those on an AOC day. If you've seen this, okay, now we're looking for plays. As soon as she pyramids, we're over here. We start entering in right here. And now you can just hold, continue plays in that direction until noon, right? Why noon? Because around that noonday time period, all of a sudden we get those big shifts, and it can make that big beast mode pivot point move, right? So if it stayed, it is a tricky type of day. And so you either stay away or you learn to play, and know that the warning comes from right here. Now it does look like we came up several times. We went, oh man, this is even trickier. Very tricky day. I was not in the trading today, but I'm coming back tomorrow. It's Friday. It's kind of early in, early out. I'll probably just kind of be cracking the knuckles, getting the machines kind of set back up. We've got some videos ready to release for you guys for some more of the features that we've got going there. But this is a day, like if you saw these, just stay away. Okay, remember that. If you want to go and save this day, today is January 2nd, 2025. Save it in your market replay scenarios. Put it in a folder called A.O.C. practice it and watch that grind. Once it starts grinding in a direction, just play in that direction, or again, stay out. Just beware. Okay, that's the whole point of why we created this alert in the public chat. It is monitoring all the time across all 4 of the nerd instruments, and it will give you that alert when those AOCs show up. Let me see if I can show you some of those now. Okay, if you want to see some examples of these in our education section, whoops, the education section on the left-hand side of Discord, if you are a premium member, you've got a lot of sections here on the individual strats. Come down here to the bottom. Most recent stuff that we've talked about is the A.O.C, how to avoid the tough days. We had discovered that, let me go even closer in here. When you see stuff like this, that's what I'm talking about. That's the alpha omega clustering. Now, I do notice that there's some 8s in there. These were wrong. I think I corrected Don on this. Don made some really fun he's got the unicorn throw up and all. It's fun in here. These need to be filtered on the 10. So these actually are not exactly accurate here. He's got some 8s in there. This should not be showing 8s or the 9s. They should be 10. So if you are setting, your proper settings need to be tuned to 10 or above. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go through the AO tuning area. And Don, I think you already know this now, but go back, just make sure that it's got to be 10 and above. Let's see if he did it right on this one. I don't see any 8s here, but you see all the clustering, just a ton of crosses. When you just see a bunch of crosses lining up on your charts, okay, this is the clustering that we're talking about. Okay, this is not normal. If you see this on your charts, that's not normal. Normally, you want to see these around pivots, in the middle of moves, etc. That's kind of your standard area. You'll know if you've been watching your alpha omegas there for a period of time. You'll kind of get used to it when all of a sudden you're like, why is it doing this weird thing? Why is it all clustered up? This is the day to just be very careful. You just get these really long, and you can almost see it, just extended moves. We kind of say that this is going to be a trend day. Now, it doesn't mean that we're just going to go one way forever, because there could be one big move one direction and then a big move the other direction. What we know is that a big time frame is coming into play. There's going to be a multi-bar move types of scenarios, and if you get caught off sides on those and you're trying to hold positions, do not do it on A.O.C days. Okay, it is a giant warning, which is why we created the clustering alert to begin with. You will see it looks like this. I love Don's got these funny emoticons, but if you are zooming in there, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think these are accurate. I don't see any 9s or 8s on here. So yes, you see it all clustering up just all over the place in here. This happens. This means we're going to get that continuous trend in a direction, and it will just move and move and move. So if you're trying to reverse it, don't. Okay, find the direction it's going in. Stay on the side of the MAC VU. Whatever the color of the MAC VU is, the safest plays are in that direction, or sit out. One of the hardest things, in my opinion, as a trader is to sit on hands, to not do it. There we go. Another example. Clusterings showing up, and then it tells you. Now, this one is not as easy to see here because it kind of happened. This is a steady state one. I don't know that this is a great one here. That was a big set of moves there. Is this on the ones? Yeah, this one's a little bit harder to see, but it's kind of there. You'll see them when they're super. It's like this, right here. This is the ideal. If I see this come in right there, I'm immediately like, okay, yep, we're in for trouble. Okay, that's it. That's the setup. You see that right there. Now I can predict this next big set of moves coming out of that, just because we start getting that clustering in an area. Now, this is tricky, okay? Just know that if somebody has called this out in the room, there you go. Here's another one. You see that right there? Man, time to sit out, okay? You see this? Just sit out or learn to play this, okay? And you're going to have to practice. And they're not always the same. Because if they were, you'd be like, oh, it's easy. I just pick a direction and go. No, it's not, because there will be some big pivot in the middle of the day, or one that moves so big like today. So, this is obviously a pretty straight down move there, and these are 89 ticks a piece. So pretty big move. Let's measure it from top to bottom. We got the red dot up top, and I'm going to have to use my drawing tool here because my mouse is not doing. There we go. The ruler tool. There we go. So from top to bottom, that move was, it's not too bad, 795 on the Dow. Probably much bigger there on NQ. I don't have that on this layout currently on my live stream here, but 795 ticks to the dropout from the, actually I think that's in 1 second. I think that might be in points. 1 sec. Nope, that's good. So about 800 or so ticks to the downside there. Again, on Dow, a little bit slower, but it is going to, remember, it came from NQ, but we can apply it to the Dow or any of the other nerds. They all kind of take this grinder style day, and it's one of those where you can basically detect a trend day. It detected it all the way back at 9 a.m. there this morning for the trend day. Now, the big up moves, like, are you going to be able to live, like, if you're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to go short. Saw the short move, and I'm just going to stay short. Well, can you live through a move that goes, let's see, from this measure, from here to the top there, that moves 231 ticks, you know, against you? Kind of up to you how you do that. I'd prefer not. So, you know, I want to kind of play my style where I'm looking to look for the shift in color position and then take my next play in that direction. And I'm not a big holder person either. I'm not like buy and hold that sucker for forever. Like, max I'm going to get is probably 100 to 150 ticks out of my plays. One of my favorite to do that with is the triple ready up. If you guys don't know about the triple ready up, go back and watch that video. That's my absolute favorite. Normally I'm getting around, you know, 15 to 25 ticks out of my trade setups. I like to kind of take the lower time frame entry points. However, if I see a triple ready up, I get a Titanic zone move, I'm averaging 100 to 150 ticks off of those plays, and those are some of my biggest days when I get that triple ready up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the videos around those. So AO cluster gave us the warning there today. Sure enough, big trend day coming out of it. My point here to show this again was, you know, can you live through these big up moves? That's 138. So if you're just like, well, I'm just going to pick a direction. Well, what happens if you get the midday shift? Because I have seen big down moves, and then here comes noon, and then you're like, okay, well, oh, it's going to go up, and then we're going to go a big down move. But no, ends up being that big day move ends up going up and 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 up. And people get blown out on that shift. You just have to be very careful. You cannot just determine from the AOC showing up that it's going to be a straight move all day. There could be some pretty big shifts in there. So again, it's one of those, it becomes a tricky day. If you had a hard time today, hang in there. Know that, hey, you got the warning. So my advice currently is, if you don't know what I'm talking about with AOCs, just sit out. Okay? Got it? Tell me down in the comments after this video, have you already known about this? Do you love it? You get it? You like playing the AOC days? You not love playing the AOC days? How did you do today? Did you struggle with today? Did you know about it? Have you heard about it before? Are you coming up to the live streams? Tell me down in the comments down below. Let's get this year started out right. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's 2025. Can you believe it? Amazing. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic time with Christmas, with all that stuff, with all the family and all that kind of whatnot. I'm babbling on and on here because I'm obviously rusty. I haven't been on the mics in about 2-3 weeks. Maybe 4. It's been a while. Great to be back with you guys. Thanks for hanging out. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lust, Moss, Curtis, G and 80B. I stand on the big H-Town. See ya.